morning, everyone. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I'm Stacy Niedenthal. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, where I come to you every Tuesday at 10:30, and we talk about things that our emotional status may or may not be comfortable talking about from time to time. We talk about grief and death and dying, meditation, things that that inner journey within us, wholeness, balance, meditation. These are all things that we talk about every Tuesday at 10:30. And today is not unlike any other day where this is what we're going to talk about. So I always like to set my intentions before I start so you know who I am and what I'm about. I'm Stacy. I'm a child of God. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual healer, and a shaman. And I've been given a gift from God to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer is that God, that spirits and angels bring in the most loving message to help your spirit heal. This is part of the intention that you would hear if you were sitting across from me during a reading. And there's a little bit more that we go into. But I always like to state that before I start. It's one of those things that's almost like my sign to my guides, my angels, to spirit, that I'm open and ready to receive. So when I was thinking about what I would talk about today, and I always do it the night before, I really kind of struggled with what to talk about. And I thought, you know what, I'll write a couple things down and it'll all come to me tomorrow morning. And now it's tomorrow morning, and some things came to me and some things didn't. So we're kind of winging it a little bit. I'm going to talk to you about the chain that forms the link. You know, the holidays are upon us. It's hard to believe it's almost the end of the year. Like, is it crazy? Wasn't it just May, like 3 days ago? And now it's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So what we've been doing is we've been doing the 30-day gratitude challenge. And every day I've been posting things that I'm grateful for, asking you to also post those things. And, you know, how are you doing with it? Have you been able to think of something that you're grateful for every single day? So when I do my grateful of what I'm grateful for today, I read what everybody else puts, and I love that everyone is thinking of something that they're grateful for. And even if this month is a struggle for you, there's always something to be grateful for. It helps to take your mind to a different place when you think about, here's what I'm grateful for. This is what I'm going through. And we're all going through something. Every single person in the world is going through something. But when we sit and we think about something that we're grateful for, it helps us to get a different perspective. So, let's see. So what I wanted to do is, as most of you know, I've written a book. The book has been out. It was a year in August that the book was out. And I'm working on some other ones. Not sure when those will be done. I need to be more disciplined and sit down and put my words on paper. I've got the words on paper. Now I have to type them. I wrote them first. I should have typed them. But anyway, I wrote this book, My Head Knows But My Heart Still Hurts. It's a 30-day grief recovery journal that helps you remember what you had instead of what you lost. And when I think about the holidays, it seems like those are the hardest times to get through. Thanksgiving and Christmas, especially for me. I don't know about for you all. But I wanted to read some things from the book, talk about them a little bit, and then go on from that. So the very first part I have on here, day one, and like I said, it's a 30-day grief recovery journal. But day one talks about the link that formed the chain. And I just want to read this to you. I'm going to follow it up with some other things. And hopefully this will all make sense to you, because it all kind of was foggy to me on what I needed to talk about today. So let's just go with this. So the link that formed the chain. What makes a chain? What makes a chain strong? We've all learned in school that each link is attached to the other. And the thicker that the chains are, the thicker that the links are. And the more chains there are, the stronger that the link is. But sometimes the link gets old and a crack forms. This represents disease of the human body. Sometimes the link breaks. This represents death of the missing link that was once strong. The chain will never be the same. The once strong chain is now missing a very important link. Now this chain can come back together with the links that are left. And these links represent family and friends that we're all connected to this one person, this one strong link. Alone, these links are just a circle, all by themselves. But when they intertwine with other links, they become a strong chain once again. And the things that make those links strong are memories and pictures and things that they said, continuing traditions. That's something that's important to me when it comes to the holidays. My mom had all these important traditions, especially Thanksgiving napkins for some reason. But if you get the book, you'll read the story about that. But when you think about this link that has left the chain, you begin to think, what does this chain represent now? Who am I in this chain? And one day too, I talk about who am I? Once you lose someone that was a permanent fixture of your life for a long time, you may look in the mirror and think, who am I? Have you thought about that? Like, who am I now? It can be a very confusing time. You've lost the person. You've lost someone who has made you who you are. Your identity has been drastically changed. If you're like me, you always knew that someday they would not be around. But now, the reality of that, just to take that in takes a lot of deep breaths. Here's what I want you to remember. They are still a part of you. The memories that you have, the things that you've learned, they're still within you. If they were a parent or a grandparent, their blood, their genes course through you. They are bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. Their genes are coursing through your body and they are still a part of you. Just as a fabric has separate threads, the threads are still a part of this piece of material, and that goes for you too. It may feel and look different, but your loved one would want you to continue in their memory. When Mom passed, and I still have the urge to call her from time to time. She was my mom for 49 years. How does a daughter go on without her mother? How does a mother console her children and their grandchildren? These are the questions that ran through my mind like a mouse through on a wheel. And I started to compare us, remembering the things that she said and that she did, who she would want me to be or do. She would not want me to feel motherless because she would want her life to continue to impact my life until my very last breath. And when I think about that, especially during the holidays, continuing different traditions that she did. My mom was phenomenal, and it's in the book. My mom was phenomenal. I would make Thanksgiving dinner every year. I've done this since before my husband and I were married. He and I would just invite everybody over. And if you don't have a place to go on Thanksgiving, 2 o'clock, you are more than welcome. It's been 29 years that we've done that. Sometimes we have 15 people, sometimes we have 70 people. But there's always plenty of food. And it's always, I don't know what you want to say. It's always nice to have new family members join the family, if that makes sense. But my mother, every year, she would call me. And, most people would say, what can I bring? Do you need this? Do you need this? And it's food related. My mom would call and say, I got the napkins. And I would think to myself, napkins, like every year, she would bring the napkins. And she would find napkins that would have pilgrims on them, or cornucopia, or pumpkins, or turkey on it. And it was important to her to bring the napkins. And I remember I would get off the phone and I would say to my husband, I'd be like, oh my God, she's going to bring the napkins. And I would laugh about it because for goodness sake, it's napkins. And and it's funny because I can picture it in my head when we lived on North Street. And I haven't been on North Street for 12, 15 years. But I can remember standing in the kitchen and where I was standing when my husband said to me, one of these days, you're going to miss that. Well, Mom got sick in April. She passed in June. And my sister and I were in downtown Greencastle. After she passed, I took some of her jewelry into the jewelry shop and just had it cleaned and made sure that, if I was going to wear it, that, the settings weren't going to fall out or anything. And we walked across the street to a shop, and it's June. And there in the back, there was a clearance aisle, and there were Thanksgiving napkins. And I started to cry, and I looked over at my sister. She was like, the napkins. I'm like, yes, the napkins. I bought like all 5 packs of these napkins. And now every time I see Thanksgiving napkins, I buy them. I have so many Thanksgiving napkins, it's not even funny. But I can't walk by seeing napkins for Thanksgiving and not think of my mom and pick them up. So that's that tradition that I've started. And I swear one day if one of my kids take over doing Thanksgiving, I'm going to call them and say, I'll bring the napkins. So on the continuance of thinking who you are and with the holidays and everything coming, in the book, there's this poem that I wrote that says, who am I without you? And it says, who am I without you? I'm just not sure what I'm to do. In the blink of an eye, my life has changed. What once was normal is now rearranged. The air and the sun are just not the same. How do I respond to life's brand new game? My heartbeat is different and my head is a mess. I can barely get up to get showered and dressed. My questions are many and answers are few. Confusion and whirlwind of just what to do. But I hear your voice saying, in my head it's replaying, whisper in my ear, I'm with you, my dear. So I want you to think about during the holidays, even if your loved one is not physically here with you, they're still here. And it's been a struggle. I know a lot of people have had a tough year and have had tough years. And when the holidays come around, it's more of a struggle. And it's been, 8 years, I guess now, since my mom has passed. And I remember at Christmas, and it was the 5th Christmas without her. It was exceptionally difficult for me. I don't know why, but for some reason, that 5-year mark was just very difficult. So it's been a tough year for a lot of people. We've talked about different struggles that I've gone through. We all go through different struggles. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us stronger. That's what makes life what it is. When we think about life, we're to live our life, because every single day that we live is a closer day to when we pass. And it's making those memories, it's making those statements, it's making those impressions, that's the word I was looking for, on the people around us. That's important. Even if you're struggling, even if it's been a tough year, here's something that I want you to know. And this is a quote that I read. I'm sorry I'm reading to you so much today. But these small snippets that I got, I thought the words of others sometimes impact me more than it feels like it would impact you more if I read their words than giving you my words, right? So the quote is, I know that there has been a tough year, and there's years that are tougher than others. But I hope you know that you have grown in more ways than you could ever imagine. I hope you realize just how much you've overcome and how much stronger you have become. I hope that you realize that you did the best that you could, and that is always enough. I hope you know that so many people are proud of you, and I hope that one day you will grow enough to finally say that you are proud of yourself. And this is on a site called Momentary Happiness. And I go to that site not as much as what I used to, but I love quotes, as you know. I love quotes, and I love reading the words of others because they touch me so deeply. It's like, oh my gosh, I hope you know how much you've grown. I hope you realize how strong you are. I hope you see that other people are proud of you. But I hope that one day you'll realize it yourself. And I thought, if no one else has told you that, I'm telling you this today. These words would have helped me so much years ago to know that the things that I was going through were making me stronger, that were impacting me to be a different person, that were helping me to grow, that were helping me to help other people. I could never get to the point years ago to think that someone was proud of me or to be proud of myself, because I was very critical of myself, because it felt like others around me were critical of myself, or critical of me as well. So it's thinking, you know what? These are all lessons. And we talked a couple weeks ago about the treasure map, that there are difficulties when there's a treasure map, when there's a pirate map. There's crossbones and skulls, and there's, mountains you have to cross to get to the treasure. Well, those things are the things that we deal with in life. Some are very easy, some are very difficult. Some make you think, oh my God, I can't even breathe. It's so hard to walk through this. But when you start breathing and when you get through it, or you start to walk through it, because some things you may never totally get over. I will never get over losing my mother. I just won't. I will never get over losing my Uncle Glenn. I just will never. These are two people who touched my life so deeply and taught me so much. And maybe some of it I took for granted, probably, we all take things for granted because we all assume that they're just going to be part of our life forever, because they have been part of our life since the day we came into this earth. But it is, it is allowing yourself to know that the things that you have walked through have made you stronger, and you did the best that you could, and that was enough, right? So it's looking at, when we're going into the holidays, being thankful for the things that we have around us, but knowing that when you're celebrating different traditions, when you're celebrating the holidays, and that one or two people in particular aren't there, it's remembering them with stories and pictures. I have my mom's Christmas vest that she would wear at Christmas time. I put it on the chair at Christmas time. I'm probably going to put it out for Thanksgiving, because that chair is for her, right? She's still part of the tradition of Christmas and of Thanksgiving, of me, right? So I want you to know that some years are tougher than others, but I hope you know that you've grown in ways that you could never have imagined. 10 years ago, did you think that you would be going through the things? Did you think you would make it through some of the things that you went through? I didn't. I never thought that I would be able to deal with the loss of my parent, of my mom. I walked through it. I didn't like it, but I walked through it. Made me more grateful, I believe, for the time that I had with her, and brought up different memories. I mean, shoot, I wrote a book basically because of her. Always wanted to write a book, never really got that big nudge, but that's kind of what the whole book is based on. It's remembering what I had instead of dwelling on the things that I've lost. So when you're thinking about the holidays, if you're struggling through the holidays, it's knowing that you're doing the best that you can, and that's good enough. And if it's not good enough for someone else, you know what? It's good enough for me. That'll be good enough for you. I hope that makes sense. So let's see. I talked about the holidays. I hope you know that, feelings and emotions, some will make you laugh, some will make you cry, and both of those emotions are fine. Some will make you angry, and that emotion is fine. It is just doing the best that you can, being proud of yourself, reflecting back and saying, wow, I've been through some shit. When I think about some of the crap that I went through in my younger days, sometimes, a lot of times, I'm just thankful that I'm still alive. And I say that sincerely. I say that in all honesty. I'm not just saying it off the cuff where I'm thankful to be alive. Like there's a lot of things that I should not have survived. And it wasn't because of illness or sickness. It was because of stupid stuff that I did. It was because of situations that I got myself into. People that I placed myself around did not always make the best decisions. But what I learned was, made it through to the other side. I'm stronger for that. I believe a lot of that helped me to, and my kids may not agree with this, but helped me to be a better parent because I knew what to look for because I freaking did it. You know what I mean? So it's learning from those lessons and being okay with whatever your state of mind is, but being gentle with yourself, but thinking too about how proud you should be of yourself that you got through it, that you made it through those tough situations, those tough moments. And as Thanksgiving, as Christmas, as New Year's, as the new year comes in, thinking to myself, oh my gosh, January, I'm going to have to go through another whole year without my mom. I'm going to, it's mind boggling to think about that. It's mind boggling to me to think it seems like just yesterday, right? But it was 8 years ago. It's hard for me to even fathom that. So I want you to know that some years have been tougher than others. But I hope you know that you have grown in more ways than you know, in more ways than you could even imagine. I hope you realize just how much you have overcome and how strong you have become. I hope you realize that you did your best and it was always enough. That's the line that sticks out to me. I always would think to myself, I did the best that I could, but it still wasn't good enough. It wasn't a good enough for you, right? It wasn't good enough for someone else who was critiquing me or whatever. I put my best foot forward. I worked as hard as I could to work through something or to do something. If it wasn't appreciated or it wasn't seen, that wasn't on me. I hope you know that so many people are proud of you. Yeah, I didn't see the people who were proud of me. I just saw the people who weren't proud of me. And I hope that you've grown enough to finally say that you are proud of yourself. That's the big one. That's the big one. That's the one that you need to do a shot to or woohoo. Here's to being proud of myself, right? This is lemon water, by the way. It's to celebrate yourself, the strength, the things that you've learned. Your past does not define you, but it made you who you are today. And for that, you need to be proud of that. And for those people who were placed in your life, it was not a coincidence that they were placed in your life. They were there for a reason. They were there to teach you something, or they were there to learn something from you. Always being grateful for the people who have been placed in your life, right? It's okay not to figure out who you are right now. It's okay to figure it out a little bit at a time, to let the mystery of life unfold. hang on, you know? Life can be, I feel like I'm full of cliches today. Life can be a bumpy ride, but it can also be very beautiful and very um, loving, and the journey can be amazing if you allow it to be, and allowing it to be beautiful around you is saying to yourself, I'm proud of the things that I've overcome. I'm proud of me. I did the best that I could, and that was enough. And I will figure out who I am and where I need to be when the time is right. Make sense? So the holidays approach. It's okay to laugh and to smile and to be happy. It's okay to break down and cry and find it hard to breathe. It's allowing yourself to do what you need to do to walk through it. So when you think about this chain who is now not part, or this link who is now part of this chain that was once part of you, what can you do to honor them during the holidays, during every day? What's one thing that you can do to honor them? Do that. For me, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, it's putting the chair with my mom's Christmas vest on it, maybe spraying it with White Diamonds perfume, my favorite perfume. I guess her essence is still right here with me. No, make sense? I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Um, I, I don't have a whole lot of events till the end of the year because, the Gypsy Emporium, Christmas time, the holidays, come in and see us. All kinds of great new items that are great for gift giving. They're great for remembering. I am doing gift certificates for readings if you're interested in that. I do have in the book, My Head Knows But My Heart Still Hurts. And I also have a journal. I don't have the journal with me right now. A lot of people were telling me that they got the book, but they were afraid to write in the book. So I got a journal so that you can put it beside the book. But the journal and the book hand in hand, if someone has just lost someone, to me, it would be a great gift to give to them, whether it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever, just any day, to let them know that you care about them. Because it's when you lose someone, it's hard to say the right things, but I feel like the book kind of replaces that, where you can just say, I was thinking about you. Yeah. So, Bel Air, Maryland, January 23rd through the 25th. I have a group on the 24th, and then February 20th to the 22nd, group on the 21st, and the past life regression on the 22nd. Those links are up. Sometimes the events get a little wonky on social media. So if you don't see the event and you want to know about it, just message me. You can also go to the website. I will be putting that on the website. It'll be in the newsletter. If you're not part of the newsletter and you want to be part of the newsletter, drop your email here, or I think there's a link on Facebook that you can be part of that. The podcast is up and running. YouTube is up and running. Right now it is the same as what you're hearing right now, but that will be changing where there'll be some different things. But, oh, Denise just said that she doesn't have all the links up. She just messaged me, but she'll finish them today. I would be lost without her creating those events. I think the only event that's not up, Denise, is the Tuesday Talks at 10:30. So I hope everybody has a great and wonderful Thanksgiving. And you'll see me next Tuesday at 10:30. If there is a specific topic that you would like me to talk about, message me, drop it in the comments. I will meditate on it and we'll talk about it. Sometimes I don't know exactly what to talk about, and I just turn this live on and go, well, here we go. Kind of like today, I had a scattering of ideas of what I needed to talk about, but it usually makes sense. I hope this made sense. My guides are really good with giving me the right things to say, but today is every day. I pray that you are living the life you love and you're loving the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. Nobody else can change it. Happy Thanksgiving. Again, if you don't have a place to go for Thanksgiving, 2 o'clock, my place, just message me. We'll find a seat for you. All right, guys. Have a great, wonderful day. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.